Can you recall a time when your world was flipped upside down?
Yeah.
If it hasn't already, it likely will at some point. Unfortunately, life goes that way. For me, it was when I decided to enlist into Marine Corps boot camp. I raised my hand, recited my oath, signed the dotted line, and stepped onto those yellow footprints. And the day that I walked through those big silver hatches may have saved my life. To explain and convey the significance that Marine Corps boot camp had on me, I have to tell you about my past. Not many people can admit their faults, but I can. I was not that great of a person. I never wanted to take accountability for anything. I had a warped sense of reality and a big ego, too much pride to humble myself. I lied, cheated, stole, and manipulated people's emotions. None of it was okay. I know that now. This could have stemmed from a lot of things. One being that my parents were pretty absent in what I wanted in my life, and I didn't have too much will to live past 15. I do have to say, fortunately, one thing about my ego was that it was the reason I enlisted. My girlfriend at the time was joining the Army, and I wanted to be better than her. So I enlisted into the Marine Corps. And while I hate the person that my ego made me, it is the reason that I had such a drastic change. I might be about to expose some of the secrets of boot camp, so if you're planning to enlist, here you go. From initial intake to receiving my hemoglobin anchor, I was broken down and rebuilt, which is their plan. My drill instructors instilled integrity and discipline into my body, along with my entire platoon. I was the first female platoon in 2nd Battalion, which was history making, the second integration in all of Marine Corps history. Every single movement, from waking up at 5 a.m. to them yelling lights at you, to running online, to getting dressed by direct count, you had 30 seconds to run from the line, to grab your trousers and bring them back and hold them at a 90-degree angle. Not putting them on your body, you have to wait for that count as well. That goes for every article of clothing to put on your body. Under so much scrutiny, constant yelling, it broke me. I didn't want to be there anymore. I tried to leave. I walked up to civilian personnel on base and I tried to leave. I walked up to my intake drill instructors and tried to leave. Each one of them begged me to stay, persuaded me to stay. And then my actual drill instructors, because there is a bit of a difference. You have receiving drill instructors who are just there to do your initial processing, and then you have your IST, which is the initial strength test. Once you pass that, you are picked up by your drill instructors who will be with you for the entire duration of boot camp. I ended up having to have a talk with my senior and chief because my emotions got the better of me. And my chief just looked at me and said, "I don't know what it is, but you're gonna make it," and walked away. And then my senior asked me why I was so upset and what could be so hard. And so we had a slight heart-to-heart, which is what your senior drill instructor is supposed to do. Then I stayed. And she said, "This does not give any special treatment to you. I promise you this will still be hell." After that, I ended up going to church every Sunday, though I'm not religious, just to hear the words of encouragement that they would give you to keep going. After all of those moments, I realized that this was nothing more than a game. They are meant to do this to you. Nothing was ever going to be good enough, but that is so you strive to constantly do the best. Confidence was building, and I could really feel myself turning into someone new. every single thing they did, from constantly having you yell, to constantly having you run, to constantly throwing you in a pit of sand and making you do HIIT workouts, was building resilience, strength, and courage. All of this leads up to the Crucible, which is 54 hours, 48 miles, 45 pounds of gear, 36 warrior stations or training scenarios for combat, 29 team building exercises, which is obstacle courses that you have to complete as a team, not on your own, 6 hours of sleep, and 2 MREs. Ending this is a 10-kilometer hike back to the parade deck from the training ground you're on. It seems like it will never end, ever, but it does. About a mile out, I would say, you start hearing a very, very tear-jerking cadence out of all the drill instructors, and it is tear-inducing. I cried. Then you walk up to the parade deck, you drop everything, you fall in line, and they give you your Eagle Globe and Anchor. And then your company first sergeant finally refers to you as a Marine and not a recruit. And it is the best feeling in the world. I'll never forget it. The last 2 weeks are spent just prepping for graduation and things like that, just tying loose ends. So my parents drove down rather than flew, so it was a 12-hour drive back. And as soon as I got home, I didn't spend any time with any family, not the first day, or any time with friends. I went to a waterfront and reflected on everything that I've just experienced. It was sad, but very, very emotional, happily emotional. I was essentially letting go of the person who I had known my entire life to a new person that had been formed. And I was extremely happy, but that came at a price. It was a really hard price to pay. It did tear my body up a lot, but I was lucky enough to have taken this experience that could have ruined me as a person, and I became a new person, a better person. And I'm very thankful to never look back on the person who I used to be, and I will never let go of the person I am now. And I hope that whatever situation you've been through, or any situation you will go through, you will take it and make it positive as you can. Thank you.